Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel where I document my process of learning to code from zero to pro. So it's day 3 and I just wanted to answer the question, is programming boring? So obviously it's only day 3 and I've got plenty of time to change my mind, but as of now, no, I'm finding programming very, very interesting. It's been an extremely eye-opening and enjoyable experience so far, and I'm ready to learn more. So although I admit I find programming very interesting as of now, and just remember I'm only 3 days in, but there are obviously a few things that are really just not that great, such as debugging your code. Now I was just making a simple BMI calculator program the other day. It was only a few lines of code, but because I'm starting off, I just couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. I had to spend about 3 hours going through, hopping from YouTube, different websites, Stack Overflow, just to find out what's wrong with it. And obviously that was extremely monotonous, took up lots of my time, and not enjoyable at all. But all in all, I'm finding the experience quite enjoyable. And yeah, for the average person, it's really hard for me to say. Like, it depends. It's so subjective. And I think whether you'll enjoy it or not depends on a number of things. And I'm just going to go through them now. So the first thing that's going to determine whether you're going to enjoy it or not is your level of focus. Now, obviously, this is something that you're really going to have to focus on. You got to put in multiple hours every day, and you just got to sit there and work through it. And you've got to have the ability to do that, else there's no point really starting. And there are ways to make it more enjoyable and easier to focus. For example, as I was saying earlier, I like to work on projects. So instead of going through and watching a 4-hour YouTube video, I'll find a project to make, work through it. And for me, that's just a better way of learning because it allows me to learn as I'm doing, which really it helps you remember stuff better. And it's just a much more practical way of doing things. And obviously it's much more enjoyable because you're actually working towards something. And I always like a target to work towards. I mean, that's the reason I created the channel, just so I've given myself a challenge, a target of 6 months to get to a certain stage. And that's really going to kind of help me keep going forwards and motivate me. So another factor that's going to kind of decide whether you're going to find it boring or not is whether you have a genuine interest in Python or just programming in general. Because if you don't, there's really no point in starting. If you're learning it, say, just for the sake of it looking good on your CV, then you're going to gas out really quickly, you're going to stress yourself out, and there's really no point in starting. And I mean, if you don't have a genuine interest, at least have a genuine motive for starting. Say you need it to get a job or something like that, and that's really going to give you the extra motivation and just make it that bit. I mean, it won't necessarily make it less boring, but it will give you more motivation, and that will make the whole process smoother. So it just works out like that. And the fact is, Python isn't for everybody, and some people just will not enjoy it at all. But for some people, just think of the things you can do with it. Just think of the possibilities. I mean, it'll be so fantastic, so enjoyable for some people, and you really will want to start it. And I think the only way to truly decide whether you're going to enjoy it or not is just give it a few days, just kind of start learning and see how you feel. Because I just 3 days ago didn't know if I was going to stick with it or not. And now I know this is definitely something I want to continue with. But if you are one of the people that will genuinely enjoy it, then I mean, the amount of doors that learning a language will open is quite ridiculous, really. And obviously, code is constantly changing and advancing, so you have new things to learn all the time, which is really going to make it more enjoyable for you. And I mean, just think of the things you can do, just solving puzzles. It'll be great, like logic training. You'll be able to build your own pieces of software after a certain period of time. And I mean, the better you get, the more you can do and the less boring it becomes. So that's just another reason to stick with it, really. So yeah, this is really the end of the video. And I mean, I hope it was useful. I know I'm only 3 days in and I'm not that knowledgeable at the moment. This is just I'm just trying to answer the questions that I had and I haven't been able to find answers for on YouTube or on the internet anywhere. And the aim of this video is really just to help out people that are on the verge. They're not too sure if they want to start at the moment, and just kind of get them to the point where they can decide whether they want to take the leap and try out the first few days. And for everybody watching, really, even if you think you won't enjoy it, give it 2 or 3 days, learn the basics, learn learn some of the fundamentals, and that will really tell you whether you want to stick with it or not. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to follow me on this journey learning to code, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.